Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Melissa, and this is another episode of What's for Dinner. I have for you 5 awesome meal ideas that you just may want to add to your meal planning for the week. So make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss any of it. On Sunday, I decided to put a pork tenderloin in the crock pot so that it could cook all day. And I just added some barbecue sauce because I wanted to make pulled pork sliders. And I put the lid on it and I cooked it on low for about 6 or 7 hours. And about midway through, I guess, I opened it up and just started pulling it apart. And I added some more barbecue sauce and I turned it on low just so it could finish cooking in that barbecue sauce. And I did decide I wanted to make some coleslaw. I'm gonna make a coleslaw to go with that. And I've never made coleslaw before. So I found a recipe that I'm gonna try and I will link it below. And I'm only making half of the recipe because honestly, I don't even know if my husband will eat it, but I've started liking coleslaw with my barbecue. So it calls for mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons, and remember I'm halving everything. So it calls for sugar. Then it calls for Dijon mustard, but I don't have Dijon mustard. I have honey mustard, so I'm just gonna use that. So it calls for the mustard, apple cider vinegar, okay, and then onion powder, pepper, and salt, and that's it. Well, it actually does call for celery salt, but I don't have it and I don't like it. So anyway, I'm just gonna mix all of this together. And once I have this all mixed together, then I will add the coleslaw. But once I add the coleslaw, I am going to put it in the fridge and let it set for at least an hour. This is what I found, and I feel like I'll probably like this because it's the angel hair coleslaw, so it's not as thick as regular coleslaw, which I probably will like. I actually, like I said, I really have only started eating coleslaw recently, so I really only eat it with barbecue. I haven't yet developed a liking enough to eat it like as a side, but obviously this would be a great side with any kind of barbecue. So let me get this mixed up, and I'll probably add a little more pepper just because I like it peppery. And then I'm gonna stick it in the fridge. Now, because of the barbecue sauce, this is by no means a low carb meal, but you can cut the carbs using these keto hot dog buns. And you will see here that I just took a bun, cut it in half for my slider rolls, and this was our dinner. It was so delicious. And the side I had was a baked potato salad, and I will put the recipe in the description box below. For dinner this next night, we had chicken and sausage gumbo. My son had been out of town and he was coming home, so I asked him what he wanted, and usually his response is gumbo, so that's what we had this night. On Tuesday night, we had a balsamic glazed chicken, and I will have the recipe in the description box below, but it calls for the balsamic vinegar, some olive oil, some syrup, some minced garlic, salt, and pepper. But like I said, I will have that in the description box. I have chicken that I got from the grocery store, and they had no small packages of chicken wings that were on the bone. So I ended up having to buy boneless chicken wings. And I keep saying chicken wings, they were thighs. But anyway, you want to marinate. I put a little bit of the marinade in the bag and let it sit in the refrigerator for about an hour. I have had the chicken marinating in the refrigerator for about an hour. So now I'm gonna put it on this sheet pan, and it kind of came open a little bit. And I have my oven preheated to 425, and I'm gonna let it cook for 30 to 40 minutes, or until the chicken reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. So, but before it finishes cooking, I'm gonna come back and show you what you need to do with the rest of the marinade. But while I have this cooking, I'm gonna get some veggies put on, and then we will have dinner. All right, now I have the rest of the marinade that I made up earlier. I didn't use all of it because I didn't want to have the chicken soaking in it and then cook it. I don't know, that just was weird to me. So anyway, I'm just gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes on low, and it will start to thicken up. And then after about 10 minutes, I will take the chicken out. I will baste it with this, and then put it back in the oven and let it cook again. And probably about 10 minutes before it comes out, I'll baste it one more time and let it cook the rest of the way. For one of my sides, I'm actually making a Brussels sprouts recipe that I kind of did like a little copycat as much as I could of a local restaurant here in Baton Rouge that I don't normally eat Brussels sprouts, but theirs was really good. But it just calls for Brussels sprouts, bacon, onion, bell pepper. I put some garlic, some salt, pepper, and I tossed it in olive oil. And once I tossed it all together, I popped it in the air fryer and cooked it in the air fryer for about 10 minutes. The glaze isn't really getting as thick as what I thought it was going to, or as thick as the recipe said it was going to, but I just, basted it anyway. During the time I was cooking the Brussels sprouts, I did halfway through toss it and cook it longer, but I top it with Parmesan cheese, mix it all together, and this is what it looks like. I have a video that I just put out, and it has the full recipe of how I made it, but this is what we had for dinner. We had the balsamic glazed chicken, the Brussels sprouts, and some macaroni and cheese, and this was really good. This next night, I had some honey meatballs from the freezer from my son's graduation party, so I decided to heat those up, but I made some potatoes, and this was another one of those recipes that I made up for that sides video. So again, it will be linked below, but I just diced up my potatoes, tossed them in olive oil, and then I put the roasted garlic and herb seasoning as well as the dry ranch seasoning and some salt and pepper, as well as some red pepper flakes to finish it off with a little bit of heat. But anyway, I cooked these in the air fryer, and once I get them in the air fryer and get them started, I can't remember what temperature it was that I cooked them on, but they cooked for about 15 minutes. And of course, in the middle of cooking, you want to make sure you open it toss them around and let it finish cooking. But anyway, while these are cooking, I have the meatballs that I took out of the freezer, and I will link I will put a link in the description box to how I make those meatballs, because I usually make them as like an appetizer or a party food, but we had, and like I said, we had them for my son's graduation party and we had a lot left over. So sometimes I do make them with rice, but I just decided to use them tonight for dinner. But I just put them in a pot, let them heat up, and covered them and let them cook while the potatoes finish cooking. All right, the potatoes are done, the meatballs are heated through, and this is our dinner this night. We have the glazed meatballs with the ranch potatoes, and this was a really delicious meal. Tonight for dinner, we are having beef tips in the crock pot. So I have my beef tips in here from the freezer. I'm gonna add in a packet of onion soup mix. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic. It'll come out. Salt. Some pepper. And I'm going to add beef consomme. It's coming out the other side. Beef consomme. I don't really want to put too much on the top because I don't want those seasonings to run off. Now I am going to put this on low and let it cook for about 7 or 8 hours. All right, at this point it's been cooking for about 6 hours, and I want to add some more juice in there to make the gravy. So I have some water and I'm adding this McCormick brown gravy to it, and I just pour it into the meat, stir it up real good, and then I'm gonna turn it on high and just let it finish cooking out until that gravy gets nice and thick, so that when you put it over rice, it's not super runny. But just turn it on high and let it finish cooking for another hour. Besides having jasmine rice as the side, we're also having green beans. And I decided to make them like this. I'm cooking them in the air fryer. Again, this is another one of those air fryer meals. I just wrap it in bacon and season it a little bit and put it in the air fryer and let it cook while the gravy is thickening up in the crock pot. But anyway, once I have everything wrapped, I just put it in the air fryer and let them fry. I put parchment paper in there, but I let it cook for about 10 or 15 minutes. And once the green beans are done and once the gravy is done, dinner's ready. So on this particular night, we had the beef tips and gravy, jasmine rice, and bacon wrapped green beans from the air fryer. Today's mom moment actually coincides with a pet peeve of mine, and that involves shopping carts. In the Growing Kids God's Way course that we took that I mentioned in a previous video, it talked about showing respect and being responsible not only to your family members, but also to those in our community. One thing they encouraged us to start doing was returning shopping carts back to the corral or either taking them up to the building. This may seem very trivial and minor, but when your little kids see you being responsible and showing respect to others, it sinks in and it really does make a difference. It literally takes less than a minute to return a shopping cart. And again, like I said, it may be something super simple and it may seem insignificant, but it does show that you are being responsible and that you have respect for others. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope that there was something in here that helps you with your meal planning. And if you're new to my channel and you like all things homemaking, then I would love it if you would click that subscribe button and click the bell button. And also, if you want more cooking videos or meal ideas, make sure to click the box you see on the screen right now, and I will see you next time. Bye.